Hello, everyone. Today, I'm going to be talking about movies and TV shows I've watched this year, that have came out this year. There's plenty of stuff I've watched this year that haven't hasn't come out this year, but I'm just gonna talk about everything that I watched this year, TV, movies, and TV. For the movies I'm gonna talk about, I've already made videos on. Um, like Final Destination Bloodlines, Together, The Ugly Stepsister, and Him. Um, as said in my video about Final Destination, because I talked about Bloodlines and all the movies and all the other movies in the franchise. Um, I That was the first movie I watched in the movie theater. Actually, I don't know for sure if I said this, but that was the first movie I watched in the movie theater in 6 years. It was a great experience. I went to see it, and it was really cool to finally see a Final Destination movie in theaters. First of all, because I've loved Final Destination for a long time, and it was the first movie I saw in theaters, and it was really cool. Um, then I saw The Ugly Stepsister. I watched that online. Uh, and I loved it. I thought it was great. I said that in my video. It's basically just a retelling of Cinderella, but focusing on one of the stepsisters, and it's really good. It's body horror. It's about beauty standards and stuff like that. And it's really good. Then I talked about Together, which is a movie starring Alison Brie and Dave Franco about like a couple. It talks a lot about codependency, and it's also body horror as well, and it's really good. Him, I talked about that. I really liked it. I know a lot of people didn't, but I really liked it. It's just a commentary on like, um, well, it talks about football, but that's not like the main. It has a lot of other deeper themes about like white supremacy, about like pushing your body to the limits for success and fame, the cost of fame, things like that. And I thought it was really good. Um, I thought Withers was amazing in it. Him and Marlon. I I hope Tyreek continues being in horror in the future because he was also in I Know What You Did Last Summer earlier this year, but I haven't seen that movie yet. Um, what else? Okay, so the other movies. Okay, so the other movies are Sinners, Weapons, Bring Her Back, and Good Boy. So Sinners is just like it's so amazing. Like I can't even begin to explain to you how much that movie means to me. As a black person from the South, it means so much to me. And I was gonna make a video on it, but I never got to it. But I just think that's one of the best movies I've seen in the last decade. Like it's so good, it's so amazing. Um, the music, the acting, the so perfectly casted, perfectly acted, the cinematography, the costume design, the set design. It's amazing. It's like two movies in one. It's like a period piece and a vampire movie. Um, it's amazing. On the commentary, white supremacy and black culture being hijacked and uh, taken from under us. There's a lot of really emotional moments. The scene where Miles Canton, who it was his first time acting and ever, when he was singing and they showed all the different connections between like black culture and like West African culture, and they even had some Chinese culture in it. That made me cry. It was so nice, and I hope this movie gets nominated for like every category it can. I'm so serious. At the Oscars, it better. I'm gonna be pissed. We have Weapons. I thought Weapons was good. Um I was kind of I kind of felt a little like it was a little um lackluster. I don't know if I expected more from it. I don't know how to explain it, but it was a great movie though. I think Julia Gardner did a great job. I think everybody did a great job. I like that it was showed the different point of views or whatever. But when they revealed that it was a witch that was taking them, I don't know. I just expected something more. I don't know why, but it was good though. Amy Madigan as Gladys, she killed that shit, man. I mean, killed it. That's like an all timer performance. Like That's one of the performances of all time of a villain. Like, so it's so good. They would have Bring Her Back. This was the second movie of the Philippa brothers that made Talk to Me, which I love that film. Um, this movie is really fucking bleak, like really bleak and depressing. It's about this woman who loses her daughter and is trying to basically bring her back. Like the title says, trying to bring her daughter back, and she adopts these kids, and she's trying to use one of them to try to put her transfer her daughter's soul into the girl, and it's just the performances are amazing. It's so bleak. Like it is so depressing. Like I could literally just cry just talking about it right now. Um I know everybody's like tired of movies that deal with grief or whatever, because you've seen the last like almost decade, honestly, there are a lot of horror films that specifically focus on grief, and I know a lot of people are like tired of seeing that, but as someone who recently had a huge loss, it's something that I find weirdly comforting. It's this movie is just really sad. It shows the extent that the lengths that people go to bring their loved one back, and because I felt the same way about Talk to Me, because Talk to Me is also about grief. This girl lost her mom, and her mom was like her best friend. It's like an allegory for drug use, to like escape reality. And it's something that, when you go through a huge loss, that you suddenly, cause you know how some people treat people who are addicts and, go through something like that where they have a huge loss and they turn to drug use, how some people like don't get it and don't understand and will judge them, be harsh to them. But then when you go through a loss, you understand it. You understand why someone would go to that length to be able to escape reality, to escape the reality that their loved one is gone, you know? Um, but yeah, it was a great movie. I don't think I could ever watch it again. I don't think I could watch it again, but because it's really bleak. It's also gory. Um, and I just, yeah, it's just really bleak and really sad, but it was a good movie though. I still liked it. We have Good Boy, which is one I was really excited for, because this movie is about like it's basically a horror film, like a paranormal horror film told from the point of view of a dog, which I thought was very interesting, and I'm surprised. I don't think anyone's ever done that before. It's clear like a debut because you can tell because it does have like certain flaws. First of all, it's like kind of if you are someone who has a short attention span and you need things to constantly, it probably wouldn't be good for you. It's not that long though. It's only like I think an hour and 20 minutes or something. Um, but yeah, it's if it's kind of slow. If you need someone who constantly needs stimulation, it probably would be boring for you. But I liked it sheerly because of the idea of telling a movie like this in the point of view of a dog, just for because of the concept. That's the word I was looking for. Because of the concept of it, I was surely interested because of that, and I just thought that it was really cool. It was really cool, and the whole thing just being an allegory for like the dog's owner going through a disease and slowly dying. That was something that it's also sad. Again, it's really sad. But it was really good. Indy is such a, you know, he's so cute. He's so adorable. The dog in the movie, the people that made the movie, that was their dog. It took them, I think, 40 days to make this movie. It was, I thought it was good for what it was supposed to be. So now we have TV shows. I watched So I have three. There was another one I was gonna put in here that wasn't technically from this year, but I just decided I'm gonna save it for later on. I watched The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives season 2 and season 3 came out this year. Season 2 came, I think, in May, and then season 3 just came out last month. The first season came out late last year, was a huge hit, of course, and and I really do like this show. And I think that season 2 and 3 have been great. I think that it's crazy to see how things change so fast. How you can have a fan favorite and have someone be like really well liked at the first season, and then it goes right down here. Like what happened with Demi, how I liked her in the first season, a lot of people did, but then in season 2 it went downhill. Season 3 when it got even worse because she was only in the second half of season 3, and it was just a mess. People continue to not like Whitney. I think Whitney was fine in season 2 and 3. Season 1, she was clearly the villain, and she was irritating. But I think in season 2, especially season 3, because she also wasn't in season 3 the whole time either. I thought she was fine. I don't blame her for coming back just to be on Dancing with the Stars. I really don't blame her for that, and I'm glad she was honest about it. I think she's just the one person that's just honest about the fact that Mom Talk is a business. You know, like yeah, y'all might have had it might have started off as a sisterhood, but it's also a business because you guys are on a reality show. You guys got a reality TV show out of it. You know, and a lot of them are have brand deals too, or ambassadors for companies, and especially when you think of someone like like Jessie, her hair company is like getting even bigger, and Macy wrote a book and she started like a vitamin company. Taylor is literally going on The Bachelorette. um Whitney's now going on Broadway with Chicago. Who else has like a big thing going on? I think those are like the biggest. Yeah, because like the biggest stars that came out of this show were Taylor and Whitney. Taylor's the whole reason why it started, because of the whole swinging scandal. But I don't think Whitney's as bad as she was, especially not after the first season. You know, I think that, but my least favorite. First of all, wait, actually, no, I'm not gonna go on that yet. What I want to say is what going on with the husbands. I don't mind the husbands being talked about more because, of course, they are. As the show go on, of course, the husbands are going to be talked about more. I just don't want to hear from Dakota. I cannot fucking stand Dakota. I can't stand him. Okay, can't fucking stand Dakota. Brett pisses me off. The fact that Brett was even at the season 3 reunion is so ridiculous because he wasn't in season 3 at all. We heard from him once when Demi was on the phone, but that's it. He wasn't even there, and he was on the phone calling Miranda white trash. God, that's to this old ass man, this geriatric ass man. The Jesse and Jordan like cheating thing was just got it to a point where it just got annoying to me. They were both irritating me, honestly. Um, I don't want to hear about Marciano anymore. I don't care about Marciano. What else? I need Taylor to leave Dakota alone. I need her to get away from him. I'm sick of it. If they're going to continue to have problems and have issues, I want them to not focus on Taylor as much next season. I think they already filmed season 4. I hope they don't focus on her much because I don't want to hear about it anymore. Um, I have to say about anyone. Michaela needs to get away from her husband because she needs to face. Because I think the fact that her husband got her pregnant when he was 21 and she was 16, even though she lied about her age, but she clearly was a teenager. She clearly was 16. I'm sorry, but I looked at pictures of her when she was 16. She was clearly 16. I think that's blocking her ability to heal from her trauma. I think she needs, and I think it's really, I know it's really sad because they have like 4 kids now, but I think he is part of her trauma, and that's why it's so hard for her to heal. I'm glad Layla finally got a fucking weave and stopped using hair extensions. But I need her to say black hair instead of ethnic hair. Um, what else? What else about the show? Anything else? I didn't watch the reunion. I don't know if I already said that. I didn't watch the reunion because I heard that it was bad, and I was like, I don't have time for this because the season 2 reunion was up. I just don't like the way they're filming these reunions, especially because I think it's because the seasons are so close together. Because, like I said, season 1 came out late last year, and then season 2 came out early this year, and then they had season 3. So they're too close together. I think they need to give them more time. They need to do more time in filming them. Any other major thing? Miranda is probably my favorite. Um, I need her to have more screen time next season. I like her. That whole thing with Chase and Taylor at the end of the season 3 was so weird. Like I think that was so weird. I think it was just something to have leave on the cliffhanger. Okay, now for the last two shows, I have It Welcome to Derry and Stranger Things Volume 1. Stranger Things 5 Volume 1. Okay, so Stranger Things 5 Volume 1, I actually think that this season is really good so far. I've seen a lot of people specifically hating on the acting, and I do not understand what any of them are talking about. And I'm being so serious right now. I genuinely don't know what they're talking about. So for the characters, I have to say Steve is kind of annoying me. Him still flirting with Nancy. First of all, the fact that they even circled back with that with the Jancy versus Stancy thing pisses me off. They did it in season 4, and I don't know why. It's clear that they did not know what to do with Steve in season 4, and I think that's why came why it came back around is because they clearly don't know what the fuck to do with him, and that irritates me. And that's honestly one of the reasons why I think he should have died last season. And it's not because I don't like Steve. Um, well, I don't like him as much as I did. I mean, season 3, I really, really loved him, but when it got to season 4 and he started doing that, that's when then it kind of went down a little bit. He lost a couple points for that, but I love Steve, but like I just think he should have died. I think it's clear they don't know what to do with him as a character. Um, I do think, however, with Dustin, as much as Dustin is valid in his grieving of Eddie, and also it annoys me that people act like he didn't know Eddie for that long. He clearly knew Eddie for a while, and Eddie died in his fucking arms. Like, why do you expect him to not be sad about that? But I think that Steve was right when he said that Dustin did screw up when he kept messing with those bullies. Yeah, they're assholes, but y'all have this important mission y'all need to go on. You don't need to be messing with them. And I understand why he was telling him that he needs to just admit that he was wrong and that he screwed up. And I think he was right there. Love Dustin. Those heathens, they will be dealt with. Those heathens that jumped him, they will be dealt with. Um, I love Lucas. Love Lucas hasn't done anything wrong in his life. Max, please wake up. As much as I do think that she should have died in season 4, and I know that may be crazy to say, as she is one of my favorite characters, but I do think that she should have died in season 4. Though I will stand on the hill, pun intended, that during that scene in the graveyard where she was rising up and whatever to running up that hill, I think she should have died there. I do. I think she should have died. I think it would have. Imagine the turning point. Imagine the impact that would have had on the rest of the show. Not only the season, but the rest of the show if she would have died right there in that scene. But anyways, um, what else? Elle's great so far. I hate that her powers have been like struck down so much this season so far. Um, Hopper's great. Joyce is annoying me with the way that she clearly doesn't care about Jonathan. And people were so right. I saw people make the point about how since season 1, how Jonathan has been parentified, and I had never noticed that, but that's so true. Love Jonathan. I've been seeing a lot of people fucking hate on Jonathan, but Jonathan as a character has gone down a lot too. Season 4, he was completely useless. Season 4 was completely useless, but and that makes me so sad for him. Love Nancy. She's doing her thing like she always does. Love Robin. Love Hopper. Love. I actually kind of don't hate Mike this season because I've hated Mike in season 3 and 4. I have despised Mike. I have named him as one of my least favorite characters in the show, but he's been fine so far. Um, Will's great. I was so happy to see Will finally get powers. Y'all don't even understand. You guys don't even understand. You don't even get the fucking joy I felt that Will finally got powers because I've known since season 2 that he was gonna get fucking powers. I knew it. Ever since they established that he was still always gonna have like be attached to the upside down, the mind flare and stuff. I knew that he was gonna get powers. I knew it, and I was so fucking happy that he finally got powers. That was a great scene to end it on. Who else? Am I forgetting anybody? Murray is there, I guess. Um, Erica is great, doing her thing. Um, what else do I have to comment on over the general arc? I'm glad we have the arc of Will realizing he doesn't need Mike and it just accepting himself. That whole speech that Robin gave him was so great, and I'm sick of Byler's misinterpreting it on purpose. Um, Byler's never going to happen. Okay. Uh, what else? They're I swear, Bylers are irritating the hell out of me so much. They really are. Like they're about to make me be a Maleven stan in out of spite because I've actually never liked Maleven either. I didn't really care for Maleven either. That's because I hated Mike, you know. But y'all are about to make me start being the biggest Maleven stan out of spite. I swear. Holly, I forgot to mention Holly. I think it's cool that Holly suddenly now has like a main role because we didn't she didn't really do anything in the other seasons. Also, she was recasted with Nell Fisher, who was in Evil Dead Rise, and she's great as Holly so far. Um, Jamie Bauer is doing his thing as Vecna, as Henry. Um, another great performance so far. I think everybody's doing great. I actually really like this season so far. As I said, I love the season so far. It doesn't feel as crowded as season 4 did. I think season 4 you could really feel how many main characters there were because one of the biggest glaring issues of the show is that there are too many main characters and they're scared to kill any of them off, and I think that you could really feel that in season 4 because of I think it was mainly because of all the plots being so separated, because you had, you know, the California plotline with mainly Will, um, Mike and Jonathan out in California there, and then when 11 got taken and she was out somewhere wherever the hell, and then you had, Hopper, them trying to get Hopper in Russia, and then you had the main Hawkins plotline, and you could really feel how many characters there were because the California plotline was the fucking worst plotline that season. The only one that you could really care about is the one in Hawkins. Uh, I still hate that they killed Eddie. I know Eddie was made to die because every season they always have a lovable character that gets killed, but I'm still mad that he died. I don't think he should have died. I think Steve should have instead, and I think they should have kept Eddie personally. I'm excited. I'm excited for Volume 2. I am. I'm excited. I really am. I can't believe the show is coming to an end. It's so crazy because it's been on for a fucking decade, basically. That's crazy. Even though I didn't start the show till after season 2 came out, it's really, really crazy to me because I was 13 and now I'm almost 22 years old. But the last show I have talk about the last thing I'm talking about is It Welcome to Derry. I remember hearing about the show, them making a show, and going from not being sure if they were gonna actually do it, and then goes to it actually happening, and it was so good, man. It really was. Andy Muschietti and Barry Muschietti and Jason. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but it's Fuchs. They did so good with this show, man. I cannot wait for season 2. I'm so fucking excited. I love the writing. I love the way they wrote the child characters. I love I love basically all the main characters, to be honest. Like I loved my favorites though. I love Ronnie and Charlotte. Seeing black girls win and uh and get the happy ending and seeing them live was great. I remember people were theorizing that Lily was gonna get a lobotomy at the end of the season. I'm so glad that didn't happen. Um, them confirming that Marge is Richie's mom, because I remember people were theorizing that like since the start of the show, and the fact that they actually like outwardly confirmed it, and also within that basically are saying that it is like an what is it, omniscient or omnipresent being, and like the past, present, and future is like all the same to them. Like that's crazy. I did not expect that. I think that was a very interesting thing to reveal because that puts all everything into like a different perspective when you think about it. You know, and that's a great setup for like the next season because the next season we're going backwards, going to 1935. I loved Richie. It was so sad when he died, man. That was so fucking sad. I loved Will. Will. It's so sad to know that he's gonna reach basically the same fate as Richie because they both die in fires. and at the same place in the black spot. I think the whole military plot was interesting, was more interesting because I was scared that it was gonna be like just this like side thing that was annoying or whatever. But it was actually interesting. It was a real interesting showcase of how first of all white people don't listen. White people don't be listening to fucking indigenous people. Um, Also to show that this person the slow reveal of like what Shaw was actually trying to do, because at first you're like, oh, this military stuff, what the fuck is this, like who cares about this, but then they revealed that Shaw was the little kid, was a little kid and saw it and was trying to come back and capture it, but then they revealed that he actually didn't want to capture it, and trying to um he was actually trying to release it to use it to scare the U.S. citizens into using fear as a means of control. Which is something that definitely would happen in real life. And it's crazy to see people try to claim that it was a lazy writing is insane. It's like either you're stupid, you're naive, or you're being willfully ignorant to think that this would not happen in real life if it was real. This 100% would. If it was real, the U.S. military 100 fucking percent would try to use it to as a means of control. 100% would. And the stupidity in Shaw to think that he could really control it and to try to tell it to leave him alone, just leave because he freed him. It's like, you're stupid, bro. This is a cosmic being that has lived for thousands of years, that crash landed on Earth before humans even were here yet. And you really thought you can control it? It can literally get in your mind and your biggest fear. And you really thought you could control it? You're fucking stupid. And I was so happy when he got killed. I was so fucking happy when he got killed, man. But it was just a really good show, man. In general, just so amazing, like so good. Like I cannot wait for the next season. I'm so excited. They better be working that shit right now. They better be working that shit right now, and that makes me want to go and rewatch the movies. It makes me want to go and rewatch the movies, and even The Shining too, because it was also cool to get a backstory for Dick Halloran. And people were saying they wanted them to maybe do a Shining people with him, and I think that'd be cool, and I 100% will watch it. But that's it for my 2025 recap in movies and TV. Yeah, that's it. I have anything else to say? Thank you for watching.